actively defy federal law by hiding illegal immigrants. His name is Greg Gonsalves. He's supposedly a law professor, and yet he tweeted this recently, quote, "We hide immigrants from ICE if we have to." The professor says this would be, quote, civil disobedience rather than aiding and abetting criminal activity. Lawrence Jones is editor-in-chief of Campus Reform. He's been following this and joins us tonight. This leads to the larger question, Tucker, Lawrence, of why we even bother to fund universities. They're a joke, but we're getting to that later in the show. To the specifics of this case, how did he express this? What was the response?
Well, I asked a simple question. I am an editor-in-chief. I'm a journalist. This is something that the left said is being attacked. So I asked the question, are you guys aiding and abetting? Simple question. He, in return, blocked me and decided to go after my organization and say that we should be on the list for the Southern Poverty Law Center. That simple.
The Southern Poverty Law, that's the fake civil rights group that gets people banned, that crushes the free speech rights of people it disagrees with. Right, yeah, I'm familiar with them. So he didn't respond at all. Do you find, in a meaningful way, do you find it ironic that a law professor would be calling on his students to ignore the law?
Well, we couldn't find his actual law degree, so, I mean, I don't even understand how he's teaching students about the law. You know, it's crazy, Tucker.
Wait,
because
I'm sorry. What do you mean? What do you? I'm sorry. I'm interrupting you. What? Jason Hill is a professor of philosophy at DePaul University, but if we follow his advice, he could soon be unemployed. He just published a remarkable piece in the Hill newspaper saying that universities, and he's worked in them for a long time, have become so overwhelmed by identity politics, socialism, anti-Americanism, and dumbness that essentially they're beyond saving. He suggests that taxpayers and private donors pull funding and let the whole system collapse for the betterment of the country. Professor Hill is also the author of the book We Have Overcome, which I have not read but plan to because his piece is literally that good and you should read it. He joins us now. Professor, thank you for coming on tonight. So did I misread what you wrote? You basically seem to have concluded, after years of working right in the middle of it, that the system is beyond saving.
I think so. I think these Bolshevik-loving welfare scholars have basically hijacked the system and are indoctrinating our students with not just anti-American invectives, but against the very core values that form our republic: capitalism, free speech, the morality of wealth creation. And I think that we're seeing a correlation also between the anti-free speech movements that have been accelerating across campuses and the ideologies that are taking root in the classrooms, the cultural relativism, the revolt against the Western canon, the cultivation of different perspectives. I think that we're not beyond repair. I think there's a solution. In my book, We Have Overcome, I go into some more details about how we can address this dilemma in the academy.
Well, within the confines of a cable news segment, sum it up for us. What do you think the solution is?
I think the solution basically is for the federal government to stop funding universities that are spewing anti-American invectives, indoctrinating our students who exist in these curated silos and who are not used to other perspectives outside of their own and who are supposed to be getting a critical education. I think it's also time for alumni donors to start withdrawing their funds, or if they're funding universities, to start affixing conditions to their funding. You'd be surprised at the extent to which alumni donors just give millions and millions of dollars with no strings attached, no conditions attached. Start saying, if I'm donating $10 million or $100,000, I need pro-American values taught. I need conservative values taught. I need values advocating not cultural Marxism and